Well, good evening everyone and welcome to Delta T Racing. It's Tuesday night, it's Division 1 and this is round 1 of Season 2. So all to play for. We have some new drivers in this season as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they pit their wits against defending champion Shabby. We also have the Class B champion, which is now Division 2, Wesley, who's been promoted up, and they're actually teammates. So it'll be very interesting to see how they get on. Okay, so we're just waiting for somebody to go out onto track. Okay, so we're counting down. Looks like nobody's going out on the track at the moment, obviously sorting out their setups. But just a big welcome to everyone. I'm Nell Boy and I'll be your commentator for tonight. It's great to be here at the start of Season 2. Doesn't seem like long ago that we were starting Season 1. And then obviously, you know, sort of finishing it, and very, very quickly we're up and running with Season 2 after the Race of Champions. So yeah, it's everything's gone very, very quickly, and a very successful first season. So just posting the link there for tonight's stream, and we'll get the details up and then start following some of the drivers round, see what we have tonight. So okay, let's follow. Who's the first one out on track tonight then? We'll have a look. I think it's Broomer. So Broomer the first one out, so we're going to follow him on his outlap. I say Broomer again did very well last season. Had an element of bad luck, but a very capable driver. Be very interesting to see what he can pull out of the bag this season. Obviously everybody's starting on 0 points, so it's the 1 point everybody can say that they've actually led the championship, or at least been level in the lead of the championship. So here we go, following Broomer now onto his fast lap. So first fast lap of the season. Okay, so here we are, just following Broomer through the first section. So you've got a few back markers ahead of him, so I'm interested to see what his time is. Doesn't look like he's too on it, in fairness, but it's difficult to tell. It seems to be the higher up the divisions you go, they make it look so easy, and you don't actually think they're on a lap, but then bang, pop out a lap, second and a half quicker than you can manage. Okay, so Broomer coming into the baseball section. So left and a right underneath the bridge, a right onto the start finish straight, and we'll see what he posts as his first time. So 1:15.7. That's not a bad banker lap there. So then next across the line, who do we have? Is it Ruben? No, Ruben's in the pits. Wesley. We'll drive on board for Wesley for a bit. As I say, Class B champion from last season. Now promoted into Class A. Took 4 wins last year in Class B. So a dominant performance with him, from him. 5 pole positions, I believe, and 6 podium finishes, so it just shows that the consistency really can pay off. So Wesley now is on his outlap. I missed that. Let's have a look. Who do we have coming in on a fast lap? The thing is, the blues, it's so difficult to tell. So Sven Horsen, okay, he's on an outlap. Then behind him we have Xavi, who's jumped himself up into 5th place. No, it was Bossmart's. My apologies, Bossmart's missed that. So up into 3rd place there. And Michael starting onto his lap again. Michael has insane pace. Had some fair amount of bad luck last year. Missed a few races as well, but when he raced, he was certainly up there. Got good pace on him as part of our esports driver team. So, oh, there we go. Curse of the commentator there. So sorry, Michael. Looks like you got it all to do again from the back of the grid. We're having a look at Ruben now, coming across to finish his fast lap. Looks like he invalidated Wesley there, pops it up in the pole with a 1:14.8. Cracking lap there by Wesley. Obviously the times are going to come tumbling down as the session continues. Sven Horsen here coming across. We'll see what Sven can do. Nothing, because he was on an out lap. I will get it right one day and actually follow somebody that's on a lap. Have a quick look. I think we have Boss Mots is going to be coming into the pits. And Zavi's in the pits. Who else do we have? Clarkey, he's invalidated. Arno's invalidated. Prince, again, Prince actually making his debut in competitive racing tonight for DTR. Again, a very good driver, 1:15.4, puts himself a sighter lap in there in 6th position. But Prince we followed from a previous league. He's got a lot of talent. He's a very quick driver. Very difficult to get past. And quite consistent, so it's very, very interesting to see what he can do in his debut season here. Currently, he is a reserve for us. He's literally just waiting for a full-time seat to arrive. So at the moment, although we see him in the Red Bull, he's actually collecting points for Manor Grand Prix, which is the reserve team. So right, let's have a pop back. Who do we have coming across? Brent there. Coming across the start-finish line to start his flying lap. Interested to see what Brent can do. Again, Brent, another great driver. I mean, I say Division 1, we're going to have all of the best drivers or the quickest drivers that we've got in DTR, give or take a couple that couldn't be there for availability purposes. But pretty much all 19 that we've got here, which is nearly a full grid. One unfortunately dropped out, but all 19 here do have a lot of pace on them. So rightly so in Division 1. Okay, so just following round. I missed someone there going start-finish line. Really not doing too well tonight. I'm going to follow Brent. At least we can get a lap in with Brent. Chalkers looks like he's on an out lap, as is Zavi. So we'll jump on and have a look at those at the moment, along with Stein up in 4th place. Here we are, Brent coming in to the baseball section, around the right-hander underneath the bridge. Okay, looks like again just a bit of a banker, 1:16.246 there, so I think he's got more in him, but he's getting that banker lap in. Let's see how he gets on. I'm going to jump on board with Chalkers for a moment, just follow him around. Chalkers, again, very, very good in the race, has a really good race pace. Has struggled a little bit in qualifying. I think that's something he's hoping to address this year. Certainly looking in the chat earlier, he had he was saying that that's one thing that he's hoping to improve on, and he's invalidated there, so that's not going to help his issue. Broomer now, we're coming through the last section. We'll see what time Broomer can put on. 13, 14, 15, we're up to the 15.1. Moves him up into 5th place. Good lap there from Broomer. Shabby now, reigning champion in the Alfa Romeo, as I say, this year himself and Wesley. They're going to be a formidable team. Last year, if you add it up between them, they had 7 wins. 6 pole positions, and I think it was 15 podiums. So between them, that's an awful lot. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts for the Constructors' Championship this year, and wouldn't put them past being in the fight for the Drivers' Champion as well. So, okay, Stein, we'll have a quick look. Who do we have? Sven Horsen there. He's just starting his outlap. Apologies for the joltiness there. Arno's invalidated. Then we have Sadio Mane, who's invalidated. Okay, Brent's in the pits. Chalker's now just going around the hairpin section, so he's on the back section of the track into the S's. Quite a technical section, the S's there. You only have to get it slightly wrong and you've messed up your lap time completely. Or, if you're very unlucky, like I did in last year's race, you end up with 3 wheels on your wagon, sitting there watching every car go past you. So it's... can be a bit of a disastrous section, so you've really got to nail it. You've got to be confident. So here we go with Chalkers. Now he has gone with a 1:14.451 up into second place. Cracking lap there by Chalkers. So who do we have coming in now? Is it Arno? No, in the section Ruben. Ruben here. Just a line 1:16.062, kicks him down in 12th position. Okay, Sven there. Yari, 1:14.443. See if he can improve on that. Again, Yari is another driver from a previous league. He's got oodles of talent. Very, very quick driver. Gets some good results. So there really could be some good battling in here. Prince there, starting onto a fast lap. We've got a few now going onto their quick laps. I say just under 6 minutes, so probably get 2 runs in if they're quick. Arno there still yet to post a time on the table. Then at the top, invisible now into the pits. Chalkers there will be pitting as well. Is forward with Wesley, he's invalidated his. Stein's invalidated as well. Prince Killer, I think he's on a cooldown lap, 4.6 seconds down. Yeah, he's on a lap back to the pit. Says he was Black Mamba, Ruben. Let's see if Ruben's on a lap. Someone's got to be on a lap. Zavi, not sure if he's on a lap. Svan. Beatty Nuts there in 14th. Again, Beatty Nuts, we raced with him last year. He's another driver, got a lot of speed. Can do quite well. But we'll see. I think it might be a stretch too far for him for certainly a top 5 or 6 today. But it really does depend on how many finishes we get. So consistency, low amount of penalties. Yeah, he's invalidated there, so we are waiting for the changeover at the moment. Okay, so here we are following Black Mamba around at the moment. So Mamba as well, lovely guy. Again, got a lot of pace, just really, really unlucky last year. It just seems to be, whenever he got himself in a good position, there was always something there just to mess it up for him. And it's a shame because he's he's put himself in some good positions, just been very, very unlucky. Okay, so following Mamba round now, around the final section, Peril Dada into the pits. So great, still haven't picked anybody up so far. Who do we have on the track? Beatty Nuts looks like he will probably come into the pits. No, he's going to continue. We'll see what lap Beatty Nuts can put on. A 1:15.485 moves him into 12th position. Not a bad lap there at all by Beatty. Boss Mots now. 1:15, 1:59 up into 9th place for Bosmots. Who do we have now? Xavi. 1:25.5, so it's a nice slow lap. I think it was just a build-up lap, out lap for him. So now we're waiting. Shabby is looks like the first person to go for it. It's going to be on his final run. Obviously just behind him there looks like, I think that was Chalkers perhaps just coming out. Certainly one of the McLarens. Has to be Chalkers because Michael unfortunately is having an early shower. So Shabby just taking it nice and easy on his outlap. Or is it an inlap? 3.1 down in the first sector, so he's certainly not pushing it. Obviously with letting Chalkers past him there. Bosmots are going to follow. Is he going to come into the pits or... No, he's 1:13, 1:14, 1:14.938 by Bosmots. Moves himself up into 7th place there. Good lap by Bosmots. And Xavi comes into the pits. Okay, so on outlaps we have pretty much everybody. I am going to ride with Chalkers as he seems to be the first person to actually go for his hot lap. So come on, Chalkers. Put yourself in a good qualifying position and we'll see you do it in the race. We know you're more than capable. 1:14.4 needs to find 0.141 of a second, which is more than capable with the evolution of the track here. But obviously it means Jerry's going to be able to go faster as well, and I think Wesley's got some in reserve, so it could be a very interesting final few minutes of qualifying here. So we have a yellow in sector 3. Looks like it's cleared pretty quickly. I think it's just cars getting out of the way, slowing down to let each other past. Yari then being let past by Chalkers, so it looks like Chalkers wasn't happy with that lap. We'll follow Yari and see how he manages to do all through the S's. Bit of a wobble there. I say such a technical track, really is. If you can lose so much time, one wobble, and you've lost so much time. So let's have a look back. Who do we have coming next? We will have, is it Shabby? Yeah, Shabby is making his way rather quickly back. Let me see, is he going to go to the pits? No, he's going to go for his lap now. So there we go, that's what Shabby. So not many pole positions, Shabby, just the one. But if you can win from second or lower, you don't actually need a pole position. It was always handy at Monaco. So right, let's have a look. Coming across the line now, we have Mamba. Doesn't seem to have improved. Let's have a look. Bruma coming to the final section. He's 0.131 up on his time. So it'll be interesting to see if he can pull himself up into the 14s. No, 15.019. Still a very good lap. Okay, so Brent, who is next? Prince. 1:14.581. Oh, he was just outside of his best time by 0.001, so not much in that whatsoever. But a good lap by Prince. Put himself currently in 4th position. So who do we have? Yari going 1:13, 1:14.225 beats his time again. Chalkers behind, 14.451. Okay, who do we have that is possibility? That's it. So Yari has taken pole position on his debut. A fantastic lap by him. So let's have a quick look at the grid. So we've got Yari in pole position for Mercedes, then in second Chalkers for McLaren. Wesley in third, Prince fourth, Invisible fifth, 6 is IRS Stein, 7th is Bosmots, 8th Shabby, 9th Bruma, 10th Mamba, 11th Arno, 12th Yavi, 13th, Beatty Nuts. 14th, Sadomane. Van Horzen in 15th. Ruben 16th. 17th, Brent. Clarkey 18th, and in 19th, and unfortunately not able to set a lap time, was Michael. So it'll be very interesting to see what Michael can do in the race. I'll be right back with you.
It's time to go racing once again here at Zandvoort as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track.
Well, good evening and welcome back. I'm not sure that was the right cutscene there, but I was unable to stop it. So as you can see, we've got a wet Grand Prix. So anything can happen here. Looks like it's going to be wet all the way through. Be interesting to see if it dries up towards the end. But not soaking wet. Everybody's starting on the inters. But this is going to be a very interesting first corner and a cracking opening Grand Prix to the season. So let's have a run through the grid whilst we are going round. So in pole position we have Yari in the Mercedes. In second we have Chalkers in the McLaren. In third we have Wesley in the Alfa Romeo. In fourth we have Prince in the Red Bull. In sixth we have Invisible in the Aston Martin. And in seventh, just behind his teammate, Stein. In seventh we have the second Mercedes of Bosmots. And in 8th, Shabby, as a defending champion. He's not new to starting slightly lower down the grid. You certainly want to watch him work his way through the field with his strategy. In 9th, we have Bruma in the Williams, followed by his teammate Mamba in 10th. In 11th, we have the Ferrari of Arno. In 12th, we have the Haas of Yavi. 13th, we have Beatty Nuts in the AlphaTauri, 14th Sadomane and 15th Van Horzen, both in the Alpines. In 16th we have Ruben in the second Ferrari, 17th we have Brent in the Red Bull. Then we have Clarkey in the Haas, and at the rear we have Michael in the McLaren. So it'll be very interesting again to watch Michael to see what sort of spaces he can make up during this. So let's get this set for what is going to be an interesting first lap. There we go. We're just waiting for everyone now to work their way through onto the grid. There we have Michael making his way at the back of the grid. Here we are then, ready for the start of Season 1, the first race, the Mexican Grand Prix. So here we are, 3 red, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go! Seems like a fairly clean start, apart from back there it looks like, I think it was Van Horzen went right into the barrier. So unfortunately he'll be out of the race, but here we go, coming down towards the first corner. We need to keep an eye open. There's the McLaren there of Chalkers taking the lead. Yari into second. Looks like a fairly clean first couple of corners, which is very, very good. I was expecting something a little bit more there, but Chalkers taking the lead nice and early. So overtaking Yari, who's just going to happily sit in behind. In third place currently we have Wesley and Prince in 4th place, both holding their positions from the grid. Bosmots up 2 places into 5th, and Shabby following him through, up from 8th into 6th place. Stein in 7th, having a close battle at the moment with Arno. So nobody wants to give anything. We're going too wide there between Arno and Invisible. Invisible knows just to step back a little bit and let that through. So round the first lap we have Chalkers taking an early lead. Just following everyone into this section at the back there. Looking, Michael's already made up. Mamba is out. I think it was Mamba who unfortunately crashed on the start-finish line right as it started off. I just saw a car going at right angles into the barrier. I think that was Mamba. So Marco, I'm so sorry. Was hoping for a good race for you. Gives you a bit more time to get some practice in for Azerbaijan next week. So fingers crossed it will go a bit better for you there. So okay, so looking through, there's a move there as Brent and Seda Mane are going side by side. No call to ask, none given. Brent makes the move there. We'll see if he can keep it to stick. Going down into the next turn. Turn number 4. Okay, some nice close battling going on at the moment. We've got, say, Michael working his way through the field, finding it a bit tough to get through the back markers, but he certainly will do that once he's given a bit of time. Invisible there, picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Very easy track to get warnings when it's dry, let alone when it's wet. So I would see a lot of people picking up penalties here. Wesley, time penalty there. It's Van Horsen. And Sadio Mane's got one as well. So already we're only on lap 2 and we've already got the penalties starting to stack up. But back to the front, we have Chalkers now with a 0.8 second lead. So he's keeping the area behind him, keeping the gap fairly well. Obviously there's no DRS within in the wet weather, but Wesley seems to have dropped back just over 3 seconds behind, with Prince literally just behind him there. Shabby still hunting them down. He's kept himself ahead of Bosmots, up 3 places now, so he's actually made the move on Bosmots there. So Shabby already on the move from 8th up to 5th on lap 3, so he's made up 3 places, 1 place a lap. Okay, Arno also making up 3, but I mean the best so far, Brent making up 6 places from 17th up to 11th. We've also got Michaels now up into 13th and missed that, but he's got himself past Clarkey and Ruben fairly easily. He was battling with Clarkey a moment ago. So yeah, we need to keep an eye on Michael here. I think he'll move his way through, certainly under the in the wet conditions. Arno there picking up a penalty as well, so we've already got 6 drivers with a 3-second penalty, and we're running on lap 3. Bit of a snap there from Michael, controlled that quite well. Oh, I thought he was off then. So. But he needs to get himself past Sadio Mane here. And I think he's done it around the outside. He's certainly going to do it along the start-finish line. He seems to have so much more speed, but he's squeezed out ever so much there, and it looks like Sadio Mane has gone for the pits. I'm not sure he wanted to, but he'll go in and put himself a fresh set of rubbers on. So Michael now with clear air in front of him. He's 5 seconds behind Brent in 11th. We'll see if he can close that down and how quickly he can close that down. So in the pits we have Sadio Mane, Xavi also in. Looks like that was for a front wing. So it looks like we've got some early damage here. Okay, so Chalkers, is he keeping that gap sort of round about the second mark? So yeah, he's not letting them get away. It's all about keeping it on the track, limiting those penalties. Trying not to spin. It's also looks like the closest battle we've got at the moment. I'm just going to change this to interval between the 2, and we'll put some tyres up so we can have a look and see what's going on with everybody's tyres. Okay, so Chalker's now coming under a bit of pressure from Yari. BT Nuts picking up a 3-second time penalty there. Arno's taken himself into the pits. I'm not sure if he's got damage there. It's a bit too late to see. I'd have thought it would. He wouldn't be pinning this early on inters. So he must have picked up some damage there. No, Chalkers and Yari just taking it easy at the front there. You got Wesley in third. Got a gap of just over a second to Prince. Shabby closing in on Prince now. He's already worked his way up into 5th place, so I would not put it past him, putting himself certainly onto the podium. Maybe even pushing for the win. A bit further back we have Stein just behind Bosmot, 6th and 7th. There's not a huge amount of close battles going on at the moment. Obviously it's very difficult in the wet weather to follow too closely. But I think we will see some overtakes once people start to get a little bit more confident with the conditions. I think we see some good racing here. So yeah, so far we've only had Black Mamba out, which so unfortunately had the incident at the off of the start. But he'll be back bigger and stronger next week, I have no doubt. So Yari now hounding Chalkers. I wonder if he'll go for the move or if he's just quite happy to sit there. Save his ERS. Wesley's taken a couple of tenths out of them, so he is closing in ever so slightly, and Prince seems to be dropping back a little bit. Shabby fairly hot on his heels. I don't think it's going to be long before Shabby's right on his gearbox. So looking back here, we have BT Nuts going for a move. Oh, there was a little bit of contact there between BT Nuts and Arno. That was didn't quite catch the full extent of that, but it certainly didn't look very friendly. Certainly probably won't be sending each other a Christmas card this year. So BT Nuts now out of the race. I'm not one to judge. I didn't quite see it. It looked like a retirement potentially on track, but it could have just been out. Arno now out. Ruben out. Mane out. Looks like we've had a bit of an incident. We've got a safety car. Let's try and find out what happened. Where? Looks like there was a big crash through the just after the S's before the right-hander at turn 12. It seems quite a weird place to have a crash. I mean, I think by the time we get round there it's going to be cleared, but there's only one in the track at the moment. Looks like Sado Mane. That's now been cleared away, but yeah, it seems within a short space of time we've lost BT Nuts, we've lost Arno, we've lost Sadio Mane, and we've lost Ruben. It was certainly a small incident there between BT Nuts and Arno, so I saw something happening there, but so I'm not one to judge because I couldn't see exactly what happened there, but I'm sure they'll sort it out in the chat and report it to the stewards if necessary. With regards to Ruben and Sadio Mane, I have no idea what happened to them. They seemed to have a bit of an accident between turns 11 and 12. Now, it's quite possible that someone spun and then got hit by someone else. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get a bit of footage of that later. But, looking at it now, we've obviously safety car's going to neutralise it with 8 laps gone. We have Chalkers still in the lead, with Yari just behind him. In third place, Wesley in the Alfa Romeo. Prince On his debut, the same as Yari, so debutants so far in second and fourth. That's not a bad start for them. As they got oodles of pace, so you do expect them to be up there or thereabouts. But so far a good start for them, certainly in the rain. Fifth place, defending champion Shabby. So he worked his way up at a poor grid position, I suppose, for him. But I say up into fifth, obviously on the back of everybody now. Safety car closing everything up. Bosmots and Stein following with Brumar, Invisible, Brent, Michael worked his way up to 11th from 19th. So obviously the retirements have helped, but he was there or thereabouts anyway. He's worked his way up. Obviously now got a chance to close in on everybody. And I'm sure it won't be long before he looks at making a move on Brent and Invisible. So just behind Clarkey in the Haas has stopped for fresh intermediates, as has Sven Horsen in the Alpine. And in currently last place in 14th we have Zavri, who again has stopped for a fresh set of intermediates and will close up on the safety car before the restart. Okay, so just while the cars are behind the safety car there, we'll just have a quick look at the map of Mexico here. As you can see, I mean, we've got a wonderful long back straight there. Sector 1 all the way, turns 1, 2 and 3 can be very tricky again. If you can get the you can get those lines right, you can make up time, but you can lose so much. Then the second sector there, you can see in blue, turns 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They are the S's. They are absolutely lethal. Certainly in the wet. So they're lethal in the dry, so I can only expect they're going to be even worse in the wet. But everyone seems to be coping well so far with them. So fingers crossed we won't have too many issues there. Okay, looks like we're going to have another lap behind the safety car. Just waiting for Xavi to close up at the back of the grid there. Sorry, at the back of the train, which he should do literally along this start-finish line. So at the end of this lap, we will be go. Yari there trying to get some heat into his tyres. It's hard to get your tyres temperature in your tyres anyway, especially on the inters in the wet. It's just so tough to get temperature into them. Same with the hards in the dry. It's behind the safety car. You've really got to work them to get the tyre temperature and the brake temperature up. Otherwise, you get to that first corner, and before you know it, you didn't make it. Put it that way. So yeah, lots of work going on there. You can see everyone putting heat into the tyres. Xavi now closed up at the back, so the whole field is ready to go. They are now approaching Sector 2. So it won't be too long before the safety car peels off. Obviously Chalkers will then become the pace car and he'll back the field up. He can then dictate the pace and decide when he wants to go. It's very difficult to judge it here, because if you go too late you're going to get swamped on down the start finish line. But again, if you go too early, the same thing can happen. It's yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm quite lucky. I've never been at the front of the field behind a safety car, so I've never actually had to Had to do the start myself. I just tend to follow everybody else, but maybe one day it will happen. But finding the exact right time to go is difficult, especially in the wet. I'll expect they'll probably go as close to the line as they can, or certainly once they've got straightened up. But as you can see, everyone behind now getting a bit impatient, and we are go. Chalkers has nailed it. That's a really good restart from Chalkers, to be honest with you. Let's have a look, see if there's any movements happening here at all. Prince looks like he was going to go for a move up the outside of Wesley there, but decided against it. And we have round is Shabby. No, Shabby. Looks like Shabby got caught up the inside there. Oh, it was Wesley. Oh, Wesley. Shabby got involved in that as well. He's dropped down a couple of positions. Oh, Wesley, it was going so well. Hopefully he hasn't picked up any damage, but he could sure as hell do with a safety car again now. Only just had one, but 3rd to 14th. Go on, Wes, battle your way back. Right, meanwhile, at the front, Chalkers made a fantastic start. Himself nearly a second clear of Yari there on the restart on the first lap. You know, he himself has pulled out a 2-second lead on Prince, but I think part of that may have been to do with the Wesley incident. Wesley there picking up a 3-second time penalty. And I imagine he's just seeing red mist at the moment. Okay, Brent there losing a little bit of traction coming out of the final corner. We'll see if Clarkie's got a good drive on him. Clarkie makes the move up the outside. Is Brent going to hold off on the brakes? Clarkie goes a bit wide there. Looks like he outbroke himself. Nice battle going on here at the moment. See if Clarkie's going to give a bit here. He's still going to put his nose up the inside there, and eventually he has to give way on the position to Brent. So Brent 5th place. Shabby currently in 7th. As I say, looks like he got caught up a bit in the Wesley incident. I can only assume it was with, well, it's got to have been with Yari or Prince. Not 100% sure whether it was the car in front or the car behind, but yeah, he's gutting for him, as he was doing so well. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on Shabby, see what he can do. Michael has gone for mediums. Is that a mistake or is that a gamble? I don't think it's dry enough. No, I think he's going to struggle. He's probably a couple of laps too early. It does look like it's stopped raining, but it's going to take a couple of laps to dry up. I think that's it's one of those gambles. Sometimes it can work and it can make you so much time, but if it doesn't, you're like a dead fish in water. You just drop backwards further and further. But here at the front, we have a close battle going on between Chalkers and Yari, who seem to have been nose to tail for most of the race, so they're well acquainted with each other. Some good driving as well. So yeah, it certainly does seem to be that if Chalkers can get his qualifying sorted out a bit this year, which he wanted to, then he's going to be a contender. I can see him up there, certainly worrying the likes of Yari and Shabby and Prince if he gets a full-time seat. Wesley as well. So Michael. Now 11. He's lost 6 seconds on this lap, just on those on the mediums. It's not ready yet. No, he's struggling to get him. No. Couple of laps too early, I think, there, Michael. It was a good gamble. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he comes in and puts another set of inters on. I mean, I'll be honest, he's not too far from being lapped now. So unfortunately, he's lost so much time. Though Shabby and Stein there, side by side. Okay, Shabby. Looks like he's held the position there, but he does also look like he's dropped a couple of places behind Broomer and Brent. So Wesley there with the fastest lap. So it's a shame. He's so got it in him, but he's got so much time to make up now. It's can only be a safety car and a 3-second penalty there for Yari. That is gonna hurt. So we'd be interested to see if Yari's now going to go for it and try and overtake Chalkers, because he's going to need to push out a 3-second gap. Prince as well, just behind, 1.9, 2 seconds behind. He's closing in. Bosmot's currently in 4th place. In the Mercedes with Clarkey just behind. So I wonder if Clarkey and Shabby had a bit of a moment, to be honest, because they were battling side by side, and then Shabby's lost a few places. So I think there could have been a little bit going on there. Shabby now with Stein and Xavi closely behind him. So I don't know if Shabby's got any damage. He doesn't look like he has. Looks like his end plates are in order, but the problem with this game is you don't know necessarily. Just it doesn't look like you've got damage. You could be missing half your floor, to be honest with you. We've all had it where it's so difficult. And we have another retirement. Sven Horsen. Looks like he has spun coming out of turn 3. Again, it's another tricky corner. You get yourself on the outside curb. It can spin you around quick as anything, and that's in the dry, let alone in the wet. So we have another safety car. So Wesley, your prayers have been answered. And Michael, could this come to him? If we get a few laps behind the safety car, I don't think it's going to dry up enough, but if we get a few laps behind the safety car, he could actually be in a really good position. I don't think it's going to dry up that quickly, though, at Mexico, but we've had it before where it's dried up in a few laps. So he's been out there for 2 laps on the mediums. We're going to look at least another couple of laps behind the safety car. He might have called this quite well, actually. We'll see. We'll see. But let's go through the order. Now on lap 16. So still 21 laps to go. Not even a half distance yet. We've already lost 6 drivers. The retirement's Van Horsen literally just unfortunately crashing out, which caused this latest safety car. We lost Ruben and Sadio Mane in a incident that we missed off track, but seemed to be between turns 11 and 12. So just after the S's. Again, could have been a spin and a collision. We're not 100% sure. Arno and Beatty, they had a bit of an incident. Around about turns 4, 5 and 6. Not sure what happened to cause the retirements, but there seemed to be, as I say, a little bit of an incident going on there. And Mamba's the other retirement, unfortunately, as I say, having a bit of an incident off the start of the race. Obviously losing traction, and unfortunately the walls are very unforgiving here. So yeah, lap 16. The order at the moment in the lead in his McLaren is Chalkers. In second in his Mercedes is Yari. In third in the Red Bull we have Prince. Fourth we have Bosmots in the second Mercedes. In fifth we have Clarkey in the Haas. In sixth we have Broomer, who's in the second in the Williams, I do apologise. Brent then in the second Red Bull. In seventh, in eighth we have Stein in the Aston Martin. In ninth, Yavi now coming around to catch up the field, about straight behind in his Haas in ninth. In 10th place we have Shabby, who has dropped back a bit. Hopefully Shabby's okay. Doesn't look to have any wing damage or anything, so fingers crossed he can get himself on the back of the pack and then make his way forward from there. 11th we have the second Aston Martin of Invisible. In 12th the second Alfa Romeo of Wesley. So the Alphas are probably one of the pre-season favourites for the constructors, currently languishing in 10th and 12th. Not had the luckiest of race so far, so hopefully the second half of the race will be a bit luckier for them. 13th, bringing up the rear, we have Michael, who's still persisting on those mediums. I think he's now finally given up. He's got himself far enough ahead. Hopefully he can come in, switch back onto the inters and get out before the safety car, which he will do with the speed of the safety cars going. He'll get himself changed. So yeah, nice try, Michael. It was so close to working, but it just doesn't seem to be drying up quick enough. It's and what normally happens is now is the infuriating thing is you take a gamble on mediums, it doesn't work, you come in, you put the inters on, 2 laps later it dries up. So fingers crossed, but the safety car is actually in this lap, so Michael is a long way behind. Certainly not going to be able to close up here. So his only hope is that there will be another safety car. But obviously if he keeps going, only 13 runners now, he can still pick himself points up. And we are go from the safety car restart. And Chalkers gets a really good start there, breaking the toe, but it hasn't worked. Clarkey round the outside. Is Clarkey going to go for the move? Yari there up the inside. So Clarkey has worked his way up into 3rd place on the restart there. So it worked fantastic for him. I think Yari got stuck behind Chalkers with Clarkey up on the inside. Had nowhere to go, so had to just sit behind. And Clarkey managed to drive all the way around the outside into 2nd place. So good there. We've got Shabby now going up the inside of Prince. So both good drivers. I expect nothing to be given here, but looks like Shabby's worked his way through, so Shabby already up into 4th. I was only looking at him in 8th position, 7th, 8th position a minute ago. He's already up into 4th and on the back of Yari in a few corners. Wesley as well making his way up to 7th. And we've lost another couple. We've lost Invisible and Brent. My word, we are down to 11 runners. I doubt that's going to be a safety car so soon after the previous one. So we have Chalkers leading like he has for most of the race, in fairness. Behind him, Clarkey. And Yari just behind him, the long-term second place of Yari, dropped a place to Clarkey, so we'll see if he can get his way back. But we do have penalties for Clarkey and Yari at the moment. Chalkers is completely clear of penalties. So it's like Clarkey was weaving away behind there, trying to get some heat into those tyres. And Shabby now up into 3rd. He's got his way past Yari. So Yari seems to be struggling a bit on this restart. But 18 lap old Inters. I think they're going to be pitting soon. We've got Chalkers, Yari, Prince and Bruma all on 18 lap old mediums. Michael there just showing what can be done with the fastest lap on fresh Inters. So I can see them coming in soon, which just puts Shabby in a fantastic position. And if he can do... Well, we've got laps 17, 18. If he can do 20 laps on those Inters and there's no more safety cars, he's got himself a free pit stop there, basically. Good work by Shabby. So from the front to the back to the front again. A bit of a yo-yo race for him here, but here we are. He's now following and closing up on Clarkey. Is he going to go for the move at the end of the straight. I think he's just going to tuck himself in there. He might have a look on the second DRS straight. Just having a look, see if there's any moves going on behind. We have Stein there up the end, up the side of Yari. Looks like Yari is really struggling now on those tyres. Broken front end plate as well on the right hand side, which that is not helping him in the slightest. So Yari, I can certainly see pitting at the end of this lap, putting himself some fresh inters on, getting that nose cone repaired, and then he'll be on for a charge in the last sort of 16 laps or so. Chalker's now at a 2.5 second lead. Clarkey's got Shabby all over the back of him. And Wesley in 6th place is right over the back of Broomer at the moment. So we've got some battles going on here. Chalkers has picked up a penalty. Clarkey's picked up another penalty. So Shabby, the position seems to be getting better and better for him at the moment. Let's have a look. Is Chalkers going to pit this lap? Doesn't look like he is. Nope, he's going to keep it going. Clark and Shabby, no need to pit. Prince, no, he's not going to pit either. Broomer won't pit. Let's have a look. I can see Shabby lost a bit of ground there, unfortunately, to Clarkey. But Wesley there, still on the back of Broomer, who's on the back of Prince. A nice three-way battle here, and then just behind we have Bosmots and Stein. I thought Stein was going to go for a move there, but he seems to have sensibly backed out. Not the place to do it. So we've got a few nice close battles going on now, obviously down to, thanks to the safety car, but only 11 drivers. We've got the 8 retirements. Xavi there picking up another penalty. So there, a quick look at the penalties just to see how many people have got. So Chalker's there with a 3 second, Clarkey 8. Wesley's picked up 6 seconds. Bosmot, Stein, Xavi, Yari and Michael. All with 3 second penalties there. Pit stops there. Yari is leading the way with 3 stops so far. Okay, so back at the front, doesn't look like anybody wants to pit. I'm wondering if they're going to see if they can go. They can't go 36 laps on a set of inters, surely. Oh, well, you can. You don't need to change, but surely they're going to be worn out. Yeah, he's now giving it another go on the mediums. Looks a bit drier this time. Looks like he's got a bit more grip than he did before, but be interesting to see if he'll get enough grip. And whether the changeover is going to come shortly. Okay, so back at the front we've got Chalker's now nearly 3.5 seconds clear of Clarkey, who's got 8 seconds of penalties himself. Shabby just a few tenths back. Prince and Broomer having a nice battle there with Wesley literally just behind. Bosmot's closing in, Stein closing in as well. So we could find ourselves with a nice 5-way battle going on here soon. But Prince looking a bit impatient there. Multiple warning. But looks like Prince gave Broomer a little bit of a nudge there as if to say, come on, let's get going. So on to the start-finish line. Wesley just behind. Just going to keep an eye on Shabby, who is closing in on Clarkey for second place. Nope, he's not going to go for it there. And keep an eye on this nice battle of 5 behind. So we have Broomer, Prince, Wesley, Bosmots and Stein all having a nice little battle at the moment. Shabby still sitting behind Clarkey. I'm not sure if he's looking for a way past or whether he's just happy to sit there at the moment. I would say save some ERS, but he's using it. He's down to 30% and Clarkey up at 60%. So using a lot more. Chalkers 50%. So Looks like Shabby's using his ERS to pull it in, and he makes the move there. It looks like a small mistake there by Clarkey going through those S's. That's how quickly you can lose it and lose a position there. So Shabby now up in a second place, so just over 4 seconds behind Chalkers. We will have to see if he can start chipping away at that lead. But further back, we still have this nice 5-car battle going on for 4th place. Currently, Broomer has the 4th place position, but Prince just behind him, Wesley, Bosmots and Stein. We have a pitter there, and looks like Broomer has actually come into the pits now. 23 lap old mediums, inters. Thinks it's time for a change, so he's obviously going to be quicker. And Prince there getting overtaken by Wesley. And Prince is round. I don't believe that was contact. I think it might have just been a bit of a spin on the throttle. DRS now enabled, so we are looking at dry tyres. So Yari has found himself on the right tyres now. He took a gamble. Poor old Michael gave it a go for 6 or 7 laps. Didn't work. Game in. Yari's gone out. 2 laps later. It's right. So here we go. We're going to see lots of people pitting now. I expect to see Chalkers come into the pits here. I'm going to say there we go. Struggling hugely now on the inters. It's amazing how quickly the inters change. You can be going 1 lap and they're perfect, and halfway around the lap they are absolutely no good. You've got no grip whatsoever. So Chalkers into the pits. 3.8 seconds clear of Shabby coming into the pits. Clarkey into the pits. Wesley's going to continue, but that's because he will be double stacking otherwise. Bosmots into the pits. Stein into the pits. Xavi. Prince. Broomer I can see pitting. Yeah, he's still struggling a bit. It seems to just be, although it's ready for dries, it still seems to be a bit tricky. So so Broomer coming in the pit. So at the moment we have Wesley out in the lead, but unfortunately he's still on the inters, losing time hand over fist now. But I can understand him not coming in double stacking behind his teammate, but I think sometimes with the amount of time that you're going to lose on the lap on inters, sometimes losing a few seconds behind isn't such a bad thing. So Yari there, I say he's got his mediums up to temperature now, a bit more confidence. He understands the conditions more than anybody else. So we'll see if Yari can make a impact in on Broomer, although different tyres. We've got 12 laps left, including the one that we're on. So it'll be interesting to see if the softs can last that long. So Wesley losing about 3-4 seconds on that lap. Will come into the pits now, so we will have a new, Chalkers will take the lead back again. We've got nearly a 5-second lead over Shabby. He's just seems to have pulled out another second and a half over the pit stop phase. Whether he was just that much quicker coming out. But yeah, we'll see what Shabby can do. Let's see where Wesley's going to rejoin. He'll rejoin just behind Stein in 6th place. So top 6 now, all on soft. You've got Prince currently on the mediums in 7th. 8th Yavi, 9th Broomer. Broomer was doing well. Yari again with the fastest lap. So his 2 fastest laps in a row now. He seems to really be getting the confidence down now. Michael I can see putting in some cracking laps too. There we go, 1:21.253 straight away, the fastest lap. So we should see the fastest lap tumbling lap after lap after lap at the moment. But up front and in control is Chalkers. Shabby brought the gap down by about half a second on that lap, so it's still possible to catch him. 19.7 in by Shabby now. It's I mean, they were looking 2 seconds quicker than Yari and Michael have just done. So obviously they're getting their confidence back now. Track's pretty much bone dry. So flat out to the end. But on track battles at the moment, there's not a lot going on. I mean, we've got a battle for fourth with Bosmot, Stein and Wesley. Obviously, they've all got penalties there. I'll have a look later to see how many, but that's going to affect it. At the end, Shabby at the moment sitting in good position, second with no penalties. And Xavi here looks to make a move on Prince. So Prince seems to have struggled for pace in the second half of the race. Certainly going on to the mediums now. They're going to be better towards the end of the race with, what have we got, 9-10 laps still to go, including the one that we're on. Well, I'm not sure the softs are going to be in that poor a condition. It's going to make too much of a difference towards the end. But Chalker's still in the lead. 4.5 seconds now clear of Shabby in second in his Alfa Romeo. So started a lowly, believe it was, I'm not sure it was 8th or 10th, worked his way up, then got involved in the incident with Wesley that knocked him sort of further down and has built his way back up again. So currently in second place. Clarkey showed good pace the second after the safety car on the Inters, managed to work his way past Yari. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. I know Yari ended up with a broken end plate, but whether that was anything to do with that or not. But a good move on the outside into turn one, pretty reminiscent of Verstappen's move on Bottas and Hamilton at Mexico this year. But struggling a little bit for pace with the ones ahead, but he's keeping Stein behind him. Then got Wesley and Bosmot's closely behind Stein, so I can see a move going in a bit. There's Yari there picking up a 3-second time penalty for warning. So at the moment, the only person we have without a time penalty is Shabby. And that really could come into play at the end of the Grand Prix, depending on obviously how close the gaps are. If we got another safety car now, then you're in a prime position if you've got no penalties, but it's so difficult around Mexico at the best of times, let alone in the mixed conditions that they've had today. So hats off to them. We've seen some good racing, some clean racing. We've seen a few incidents, but not so that I can comment on them. Wesley now going for the move on IRS Stein into turn one, and Wesley up in a fourth place. Michael picking up a 3-second time penalty there. And we have Stein and Bosmot's there. Bosmot's looking to dive down the inside, thinks better of it. Stein keeping the line there. A little run with Bosmot's. Stein picking up a 3-second penalty there. Let's follow through the S's with Bosmot, see if he can close his way onto Stein and make a move on the start-finish line. Chalker's 1:17.335, now 6.1 seconds clear out the front. So it does seem to have taken off since the dry tyres were introduced. Chalker seems very comfortable on them. I mean, he was comfortable on the Inters anyway, being pretty much leading from lights out, in fairness. Other than the pit stop, I don't think he's been led. But now with it's a 6-second gap over Shabby with 7 seconds to go. I'm sure that's manageable for him. So as long as he can keep his head in the game and just keep his concentration, he should be absolutely fine to pick up his first win in Division 1. So yeah, this seems to be the battle for the last few laps will be between Wesley Stein and Bosmots for 4th place. We'll have a quick look at the penalties just to see. Oh my goodness, they've got quite a lot actually. Wesley with 9 seconds, so Clarkey with 6. So he needs to get past him and put out a 6-second gap if he wants to get himself on the podium, Wesley. But also, I mean, Bosmott's behind 3 seconds. Yeah, he's got. Bosmott's at the moment sitting in a net 4th position. Really, if you're looking at the penalties, so but yeah, Shabby sitting there with no penalties at the moment. 6.4 seconds back with Chalkers with a 3-second penalty. So I can't see Shabby pulling in 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds on the final lap. But this is Shabby. I'm not going to put anything past him. He's fast for a reason. Xavier and Prince seem to be having a bit of a ding-dong at the back here. It's you know, sort of getting close. Concertina in close and then a bit further away. Gap between Wesley Stein and Bosmots all seem to be getting on for like the 3/4 of a second. 3/4 of a second mark. It's not really going up or down. Looking at DRS, Wesley 21%, ERS, sorry, Wesley 21%, Stein with 52, Bosmots down on 22. So Stein's in the best position with the ERS at the moment. Bosmots down to 11%. Wesley will now be harvesting, so not a lot of ERS for him to play with now. But he has pulled the gap in to within a second of Clarkey. So we are now looking at a potential battle for the podium here. Wesley would need to get past and pull out a 3-second gap. Clarkey currently with a 3-second penalty, Wesley with 6 seconds, so would need to pull that out. Would also need to pull out a decent amount on Bosmots, currently in 6th place. Who I believe only has a 3-second penalty compared to Wesley's 9. So yeah, there's a lot to play with there with 5 laps left to race. Chalker's now 7 seconds clear. I want to give him some TV time, but I don't want to turn away from this because I think Wesley's going to go for the move on this straight, without a shadow of doubt. And he is through. Clarkey's not giving up though on the outside. Nice and clean, giving each other good amount of room there as well. That's good racing. But now we have Stein, who's making a run on Clarkey. Around the inside, pushes him wide, and that is going to let Bosmots in to have a go as well. So Clarkey there losing 2 places. Wesley and Stein getting past him. As I say, Bosmots is going to be the next one to have a look. Can Clarkey stick with Stein and Wesley? Well, this is league racing, how quickly things can change. I think it was not long ago I said that Alfa Romeo not having the best start by the looks of it. I think they were 8th and 10th at the time. And now sitting in 2nd and 3rd. I say these are 2 drivers that are just consistent. They seem to still be able to grind out results even when they have an element of bad luck. And yes, I think the safety cars probably helped them today. The changing conditions has probably helped them today. But you've got to be in it to win it at the end of the day. And these 2 certainly are. Wesley, after speaking nicely about him, has gone off. Oh, Wesley. Well, the curse of the commentator strikes again there. I'm sorry, Wes, I'm not going to mention you at all next week. It was going so well, second and third. So Wesley will work his way around to the pits. He's still... I'm not sure if he can pick up a point still. I think it might have... by the time he pits, I think that's going to be pretty much him out the race. Or out of the points. So it's very unfortunate. He has such a great comeback drive there, Wesley. And there's Wes getting taken there now. So he's got to come into the pits with 2 laps to go. He's just going to lose so much time there. But Shabby, Clarkey and Stein seem to be having a nice little battle going on into turns 1, 2 and 3 there. Stein currently up into third, into the podium position, and it looks like Clarkey's going to go for a dive up the inside there. Again, keeping it clean, giving each other room. Stein taking the inside. And all the time this is giving Bosmots a chance to just sit behind them. As I say, I think he's only got a 3-second penalty, so at the moment Bosmots is sitting pretty for a podium. We'll have a quick look at that just to make sure. But Stein now with 12 seconds, Clarkey 9, Bosmots 3. So yeah, Bosmots is actually sitting on a podium at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that. But Bosmots, as I say, he doesn't need to do anything silly. He's just got to sit behind them, keep them in their sights, and he'll pick himself up a nice podium there. So looking further down, we have Wesley now in 11th position. He's 4 seconds behind Michael. I don't think he's going to be able to close that in, but we'll see. Meanwhile, we are on the last lap of the Mexican Grand Prix, Round 1, Division 1, Season 2 for Delta T Race. Chalkers has led pretty much from the start, and so it's a dominant performance from him. I was looking earlier and mentioned about if he could improve his qualifying positioning. He think he'd be in a good position for the race, and he certainly has. As I say, qualified second, and at the moment, it's just been totally dominant in the race. Nearly 8 seconds clear of Shabby now. So here we go, coming through the baseball section under the bridge for the last time onto the start finish line, and we are going to cross the line for McLaren and a win for Chalkers in round 1. Congratulations, Chalkers. That was an absolute dominant race from you. Didn't put a foot wrong there. Shabby coming home in 2nd place. Then in 3rd place currently we have Clarkey. Stein is out. I missed that. Clarkey finishes in 4th. Bosmots does indeed jump in. Prince Killer brings it home in 5th. Zavi into 6th. In 8th is Broomer. Yari brings himself home 8th position and picks up some valuable championship points there. So well done to him. Michael is going to come home 9th. And Wesley is going to get a point. I know it's not what he wanted. He was looking at a podium, but a point's a point at the end of the day. So Shabby got a 20-second time penalty for ignoring blue flags. I think that might be a glitch, because I don't think he was ever shown a blue flag. So we'll wait and see. But the driver of the day, according to Codemasters, goes to Clarkey, who did have a good battle there, to be honest with you. So yeah, congratulations to Chalkers. A dominant opening to Season 1 from him at Mexico. 2nd place on the grid, and took the lead fairly early on. And I'll be honest with you, he didn't really look in trouble. Seemed to have Yari behind him. Absolutely fantastic drive from him. So congratulations, Chalkers. So, a very quick look. We have the final positions are Chalkers in 1st position, in 2nd Bosmots, 3rd Clarkey, 4th Prince Killer, Fifth, Shabby, although I do believe he should still be second because of that penalty. We'll wait and see on that one. In sixth position, Savvy. Seventh, Broomer. Eighth, Jerry, recovering to pick up some points there. Michael in ninth. 10th was Wesley, again picking up some points there. Stein was classified as a lap down, although he unfortunately didn't finish the Grand Prix. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a good performance by our Division 1 lads. Some good racing. Maybe a few little incidents that will be discussed afterwards, but nothing too bad. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Chalkers for his first win in Division 1. We will be back tomorrow night on YouTube, where we have Divisions 2 and Divisions 4. Myself will be racing in Division 4. And then back on Thursday night, where we conclude the week with Division 5. And obviously ACC then on Sunday. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself today. I do hope you'll tune in again for some of the other racing. I've been Nelboy, and thank you for